Who in the... What sort of boon is this, in such a place? Well, in the name of Hades, Olympus, are you there?
Olympus cannot hear you, spawn of Hades, but I can. And I have for you a proposition. Assist with a quandary of mine, and benefit. Your response?
Almighty Chaos. I'm honored to make your acquaintance. What sort of quandary would concern the origin of all existence? And how do I fit in?
Time shall tell. But at present I have inferred that your response in essence was affirmative. Thus may our newly formed arrangement prove most interesting. Accept my mark and go, and later I shall open the abyss for you again.
If you'll permit me, Almighty Chaos, I wish you to have this gift of nectar, in accordance with my family's custom among relatives and friends. None of this would have been possible if not for you.
I shall grant you this wish and the freedom to bestow upon me further gifts as you see fit, for I have familiarity with this custom of yours, and am prepared to reciprocate.
Whatever this is, it's remarkable, truly.
When I created life, I had my doubts. Would it invite more problems than it solved? I would be curious to see. Thus my experiment continues to unfold, its outcome yet uncertain.
Almighty Chaos, with your experiment so vast in scope, what can one individual achieve? The quandary you mentioned when first we met, what would you have me do?
Spawn of Hades, I ought to clarify I do not care for idle talk. Ask me no questions. Respond only when prompted, or when necessary in the absolute. But above all, do as you will.
Salutations.
And to you. I once created a similar arrangement with a different spawn of Hades. He was an interesting subject. The interval since last we met grows ever longer now. Do you know his status? Respond.
You mean my brother Zagreus? Kronos took him, along with my parents and their closest associates. They're in the lowest reaches of the underworld, where I am headed now.
I see. Time appears to be the source of many problems recently. As for your brother, I found him to be quite amusing. How interesting that offspring can be so dissimilar.
Thank you for summoning me.
Do not forget my mark. When you return to Shadow, I briefly sense your presence in the infinite abyss. So I have seen that the servant of the three fates found you in that hidden place. He relayed to you a secret, did he not? Respond.
You mean Moros? His secret was about the surface, about how I can survive up there. I know this goes against the fates' designs, but Olympus needs me.
I see. As you may know, I am uninterested in the fates having undue influence. Perhaps you may find a catalyst here for this incantation, whether they like it or not.
This can grow into exactly what I need.
The weavings of the fates are said to bind both mortals and immortals alike. The course and outcome of all lives all preordained. Thus the sense of choice is merely an illusion. Do you believe this, spawn of Hades? Respond.
I think the fates determine much about our lives. When and where we are born, for instance, and to whom. But I don't think they set every detail. And I know they're not weaving at all right now, because Kronos has them.
I see. For the most part, I concur with your assessment. I am the reason Kronos has them now. He asked me where to find them, and I decided to tell him. To verify such choices could be made without their influence. Now do you understand my quandary? Respond.
Oh no. Almighty Chaos, you were deceived. Kronos wished to find the fates for his own gain. They were one of the only forces in this world powerful enough to stop him.
Yet they are not so powerful as they appeared. Nevertheless, I think you are correct. Kronos indicated his intentions were benign. I am unfamiliar with deceit and was misled. I remain quite displeased about this still.
May moonlight guide you.
No light reaches me here. To make the most of our arrangement, I bid you activate a certain artifact where you reside. Within the pitch-black facets of this standing stone are possibilities to be explored. I shall reveal how to see them all, but first...
Abyssal insight. The pitch-black stone.
Your usage of the pitch-black standing stone enables me to temporarily emerge from my abyss, and I thank you for that. I can observe more clearly both the outcome of your trial and all else.
Salutations.
And to you.
Almighty Chaos, I wish to exercise my freedom here by giving you this. Though I suppose you probably could have made it yourself.
This nectar that you offer me is quite an interesting substance. When I created the fabric of reality, I had a sense of the ways in which it could be used, but I did not necessarily anticipate all possible results, including this one.
Moonlight guide us.
Do not forget my mark. You have completed a number of the trials I have put before you, Spawn of Hades. I would offer you my gratitude, except I thought my stardust would be of more use.
May moonlight guide us.
Remember my mark. Recently I found myself unable to detect you much at all, and deduced that you must have completed your forbidden incantation. Thus the surface is laid bare to you. Perhaps I shall ask you to describe it to me sometime.
May moonlight guide you.
No light reaches me here.
I know such sweetness as this nectar is never to be taken for granted, Almighty Chaos. Please, it's yours. Wondrous creations such as this are only possible because of you.
Such gestures are unnecessary to the arrangement between us. If this is an act of supplication, then simply speak your mind, although I sense no deeper motive presently. Once there was darkness all throughout the underworld, but now, Kronos works to reshape the realm to suit his preferences. However, there shall always be darkness here in this space, and I have made it visible to you.
Pure darkness. I'm grateful for this gift. Moonlight guide us.
Do not forget my mark. There was a certain rumbling I felt within the depths. You reached your destination, did you not? Confronted Kronos and prevailed, and yet his influence remains. But perhaps the Titan shall relinquish control with further persuasion.
Death to Kronos.
A desirable outcome. There was a recent moment when time briefly ceased to be, and I alone could tell. I believe this coincided with your confrontation with Kronos. Now you return to me, attempting to repeat the same outcome. Interesting.
Thank you for summoning me.
Remember my mark. I understand the being you call Typhon presents a significant problem for the Olympians, and now also for you. I had not necessarily expected he and Kronos would join forces. Perhaps this is why I could not detect Typhon's reawakening.
Moonlight guide us.
No light reaches me here. I cannot know what it is like to meet one's creator, but you may, and perhaps have. Your father is no longer in his residence, where I sense much has changed, yet he is not far from there. Perhaps I shall assist you in locating him.
May moonlight guide you.
No light reaches me here. As you commence your evening's pursuit, you may be best prepared to receive my mark and overcome its undesirable effects. Subsequently, you shall have more opportunity to test the limits of the possibilities that it creates.
Salutations.
Remember my mark. In retrospect, I ought not have permitted Kronos to speak with me, but he was persuasive. I still do not fully understand how you communicate. What you say is not always what you mean, and your intentions may be carefully veiled, so I pay closer notice now. Recently, I've ceased to sense the being you call Typhon, which is unusual considering his size. I have been wondering whether this indicates some sort of trouble I am having, or if Typhon merely is no longer there. Which do you think? Respond.
The father of all monsters is destroyed, Almighty Chaos. It was an action I did not take lightly, but the threat against my family was significant and pervasive. He left us no choice.
You could have chosen the destruction of Olympus. Nonetheless, I understand why you did not. The power to unmake creations such as that. I would be curious to learn it for myself, although perhaps I would not use it sparingly.
Thank you for summoning me.
Remember my mark. I sensed upheaval in the earth, the likes of which I had not felt before. The tenor of it more than the intensity. Something transpired in your father's residence, and Kronos vacated. Why would he take an action such as that? Respond.
Respectfully, Almighty Chaos, Kronos has had quite a change of heart. I found my brother Zagreus, who aided me in bringing it about. Our grandfather conceded in his war against Olympus, and now seeks to make amends.
An interesting change. The absence of detail raises many different questions, which I shall explore. The outcome that you sought has been achieved, yet you seem to pursue it even still. My mark, therefore, remains available to you.
Moonlight, guide us.
Do not forget my mark. Your meeting with the Titan Kronos set in motion many series of events, resulting in the liberation of the goddess Nyx. That is an outcome I had sought, so for this daughter of mine, I shall give you gratitude.
Moonlight, guide us.
No light reaches me here. I have one further inquiry concerning what transpired in your father's house. Kronos conceded in his war, you said, yet you continued fighting battles as before. Why is that so? Respond.
Almighty Chaos, Kronos can explain it far better than I. But time is like a river seeking to flow freely forth. Yet it can be obstructed and change course disastrously. Essentially, I'm having to retrace some of my steps to prevent that.
As one who dwells in possibility, I understand. Preventing infinite possibilities, however remote they may be, shall take some time. But Kronos must be well aware of that. I shall look forward to the outcome of this new endeavor. I understand your brother has returned. Perhaps he shall come visit me again, as once he did. Whichever mark he does not choose, you may receive from me instead.
Salutations.
And to you. You reached your father's residence, then disappeared, becoming undetectable to me. This was the work of Kronos, was it not? A transference into another realm of possibility, which you attempted to shut from the inside out.
Moonlight, guide us.
No light reaches me here. I sense a difference now within the underworld's depths, yet the environment itself is much the same. Those who oppose you still oppose you, so that you may now retrace some of your steps. This shall result in different outcomes, certainly.
Moonlight, guide us.
Remember my mark. At present, I remain in conversation with the goddess Nyx. My mark is yours as always, but I bid you leave us afterward. Though take however long you wish, for we can wait.
Salutations.
Go on. Your ability to reach beyond the boundaries that the fates placed upon you proved inspiring to me. After some consideration, I discovered how to call upon you even from the surface of this world. I find it rather interesting there.
Thank you for summoning me.
Remember my mark. I am familiar with what you recently achieved despite Typhon's comparatively different size and strength. How interesting that the smallest beings often prove to be superior. Is my conception of strength incorrect? The embryo you have of mine, I would see you journey farther with it still. Would you consider the specifics of my thoughts? Respond.
If there is something I may do for you, Almighty Chaos, then you need but ask. Where might I take the embryo?
Take it from the beginning of your journey to the end. Do not replace it on the way, but reach your destination with it there. In the underworld or on the surface, we care not. This shall serve only to amuse the embryo and me, and perhaps you.
Moonlight, guide us.
Do not forget my mark. You traveled far bearing the embryo I gave to you, which was an interesting matter to observe, and in accordance with the Fate's design. But did they spur your actions, or did you, or I? Further amusement to consider. Thus, thank you.
Salutations.
Go on. You are continuing your journeys to Olympus, though the being you call Typhon is no more. For there are battles to be fought as yet, whilst following the footsteps that you made. Is this what Kronos has discovered about time?
Death to Kronos.
A desirable outcome. I sensed a faint trace of the being you called Typhon once again, and it was gone. Perhaps a current emanating from the river you called time, and you found a way to put stop to it. One fewer possibility, yet there are many more.
Moonlight, guide us.
No light reaches me here. You need not venture far to find me, spawn of Hades, for I am everywhere, particularly where the darkness coalesces into seeming nothingness. Perhaps we shall see each other again when you are closer to your goal.
Thank you for summoning me.
Remember my mark. The being that you know as Typhon is the product of an earlier experiment of mine. I sought for my creations to surprise and multiply, but perhaps not to that extent, and I cannot unmake him now.
Hold! Excellent.
Return to Shadow now.
Outlasted her. I did as Chaos asked. Hit me then. Ouch! Return to Shadow now.
This trial is complete. I bid you return whence you came.
Salutations.
Go on. I anticipated speaking to you thus as you explore the possibilities within the Standing Stone. Perhaps you see them as a series of important missions to complete, but they are merely part of our experiment.
That's quite enough.
Thank you, Headmistress. Did you see that, Chaos? Return to Shadow now.
I've observed all that I wish for now.
Well done. Return to Shadow now.
Gemstones. Done. Return to Shadow now.
We have accomplished what this trial asked of you.
Salutations.
Do not forget my mark. Welcome, spawn of Hades, to my most preferred type of experiment. Here, almost nothing is controlled. The possibilities become so numerous that to consider all of them shall take some time.
Hey, Typhon! There is no escape! Everything is possible. Some gemstones. Done. Going. Return to Shadow now.
This facet of reality is clearer to me now.
Thank you for summoning me.
Remember my mark. You need not have participated in the trials I devised, or provided quite as many interesting outcomes to observe, but you decided to of your own will nevertheless. Our acquaintance therefore was not a mistake.
Death to Kronos.
A desirable outcome. You recently entered your father's residence within the underworld's depths, but did not remain there. Did you at least discover what you sought? Do not respond. I am considering all the potential truths.
May moonlight guide you.
Do not forget my mark. You bear the moon of Violet Ares, who often worships me more than his kin. For without creation, there can be no destruction, he says, and I believe he is entirely correct.
Moonlight guide us.
Remember my mark. I felt an emptiness that was unusual to me after the goddess Nyx was temporarily taken away. Now that she has returned, that emptiness is mostly gone, especially whilst she is here.
Salutations.
Go on. The act of creation is not always pristine. The residue of it you know as stardust, which retains some power over consciousness. Consider it an incentive to look upon the standing stone and undertake the trials you see there.
May moonlight guide us.
Do not forget my mark.
You can sense my motive in giving you this. Sometimes we simply feel an impulse to express our admiration. Knowing how important your whims are to you, surely you understand.
The Olympians often demand tribute from their worshippers, do they not? Their custom, perhaps, but not mine. I merely ask that you honor our arrangement in perpetuity, though neither shall I reject your offering. The spark of Ixion brought you to me, an ember from the flame forever burning in the underworld. Its light reveals gateways into my abyss and relieves the common side effects of entering. I recommend continued use of it.
Death to Kronos.
A desirable outcome.
It's heartening to know that the origin of all existence also is the source of such limitless curiosity. Here's to finding great interest even in the simplest of things.
Substances such as this nectar, is it not interesting how they can be made, but not unmade? Everything in essence is itself. What your offering to me is truly unique in its own right, and I thank you for it. I am aware the goddess of the hunt has lately plied her trade at the boundaries between realms. Artemis was not always so bold, but it is little wonder she was drawn deeper into shadow. You seem to know each other well.
Salutations.
And to you. The blessing of Hephaestus is upon you. The god of the forge fashions arms and armor fit for war, whilst I created the very things he uses for his trade. No one's work is solely their own, spawn of Hades.
Salutations.
Do not forget my mark.
Such a strange journey your creations take, Almighty Chaos. This particular bottle, for instance, formed after untold eons, only to find its way back to you, inevitably or not.
I still possess some of the nectar that your brother once gave to me when he was dealing with a certain quandary of his. I think that I shall keep this offering close by to that. You follow in his path. It seemed to choose your own way. The this world, where my influence is comparatively limited. I was amused to consider the possibilities, though I did anticipate you would return.
Moonlight, guide us.
No light reaches me here.
Almighty Chaos, please accept the greatest delicacy for which my family is known. I know it's less than nothing in a way, but for us, it's a symbol of the bonds we share.
I am unmoved by this ambrosia that you offer me, and understand this substance is considered valuable and relatively rare. I wonder why you give it to me now, and wish to know. Therefore, respond.
You seem to like unguarded truth, Almighty Chaos, and it's that I am very much in awe of you. Your attention and your aid mean more than I can say. My family gives ambrosia when mere words cannot suffice.
Your insufficient words have been of greater impact than your gift. I shall accept it all, nevertheless. You are amusing, spawn of Hades, more than I originally thought.
Cheers?
I shall hold Kronos to account for what has come to pass. But I am not without blame myself, for I fear that I made present matters worse. You shall see whether any such mistakes can be corrected.
Moonlight, guide us.
Remember my mark. The Olympians send you their blessings and their messages, having some limited awareness of your circumstances and your whereabouts. So shall it be with me whilst you are here. The Olympians often speak of family, but I do not entirely understand what they mean. All beings have a common origin. They are not considered family. Kronos, for example, is he family or not? I shall not ask you to respond. Time, of course, did not always exist. Kronos provided a means of measuring the rate at which everything grew and changed or did not. He was quite useful by his very nature. But time can be a source of problems too, I know.
Death to Kronos.
A desirable outcome. I understand entering gateways to my domain is not a pleasant sensation, and my mark by its nature yields mixed results. Thus I ask myself why you often venture here. Perhaps you merely wish to look upon me thus.
Salutations.
Go on. You know the one called Queen Hera of Olympus. She has a certain power over creation herself. Mortals worship her, begging her favor as they bond and bring their offspring into being. She must enjoy the attention.
Salutations.
And to you. The three fates are at last returned, and that is well. Thus your assistance with my wandering is complete. But as to whether you discovered them or they decided to return remains unclear. They create far more questions now than I.
Death to Kronos.
Remember my mark. You bear the blessing of the king of the Olympians himself. I expected that he would have been too preoccupied to be of direct assistance, although he does have a vested interest in your victory. I am quite interested in control. Once I alone possessed it until the fates took some of it from me. Then they were gone after the Titan Kronos had returned. Now they are back. Whose choices have been made? Everyone's. No one's.
Salutations.
Do not forget my mark. Does there remain a place for beauty and for objects of desire in a world such as this? The goddess Aphrodite must think so, and you work now as allies. I believe it a worthwhile cause. This world was born of a certain desire, after all. Here in this space there is a living specimen you may procure. I do not care for it, but there are others of its kind. I gave them ability to replicate, and to find purpose in the act. The son who sought to answer my call turned out to lack the fortitude for the descent. Thus I never call on mortals anymore, and seldom anyone, for titans and gods can be duplicitous, I know. I ask that you do not betray my trust. Perhaps I ought to start over again. That is what I think when I observe all that has transpired on the surface of this world. Eventually I expect I shall, though for now I permit my offspring to continue to multiply and interact as they will. Perhaps you wonder if I am responsible for Typhon in some way, for I created that from which he spawned. I too have wondered this, and my conclusion is that I am as responsible for Typhon as Kronos is responsible for you. One of the offspring of the goddess Nyx, the one called Strife. I find it interesting Nyx spawned one such as her, but then we all make mistakes. I acknowledge all that I have wrought can be seen as disorderly as well.
Salutations.
Go on. We are as beings, ever-changing in a way. The particles that form us die and are reborn. From my observance of your relatives and their unusual custom, I have attempted to extrapolate a form more suitable to them, and perhaps you.
Thank you for summoning me.
Do not forget my mark. I momentarily mistook you for the goddess Nyx, for she once had a similar appearance as with yours. As so your stature and your shape, rather the artifact surrounding you. There is no reason you should have it, had Nyx not permitted this.
May moonlight guide you.
Remember my mark. Responsibility is partly mine for all that has transpired. I attempted to create this world with a degree of care. I nurtured it, adhered to certain principles as might a mother and father, for I created them too. But this world is no longer young. It persists now by its own whim.
Death to Kronos.
A desirable outcome. Spawn of Hades, I have no further wishes to communicate with you this often at this length. I likely shall use fewer words with you henceforth, I think.
Salutations.
Go on. Respond only when prompted, or when necessary in the absolute. You have been visited by Lord Poseidon. The waters that he claims are his. They were among the first of my creations, and turned out rather well, I think. I wonder if he comprehends the extent of the power they concealed. The fate's designs for us perhaps are intertwined, for we each seek our close kin. I have lost contact with my spawn and daughter Nyx, who resided in your father's house. Her influence remains, yet I feel her absence.